What's up, guys? This is Zenkistyle, and like I said, we're gonna play some small stuff next on this little diorama. First thing, what I've got right here, a pencil. And the reason why I have this pencil, I've already marked off all these edges, but I want to mark off these edges on this really well because I don't want to place anything beyond this line yet. See, I'm not ready to glue this down yet because I still have to paint it. So what I'm gonna do is mark that edge right there. And as you can see, like I said, I already marked the other edges just so we could work this. Alright, I'm going to set that out of the way to where it's out of harm's way. First up, what I've got right here is more of my little crushed rock. And what we're going to do here is pretty simple. Remember, I made glue for this earlier, and we're going to go ahead and get that out. We have the glue right there. Let me get that where I know it's in camera. But when it comes to this finer detail, well, there's a problem. It's gonna really suck to sit here and glue a bunch of these little rocks everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is just drop some out. There's some bigger ones in there. I didn't want the bigger ones, but I got them. We're just gonna drop some of this stuff out here. You don't have to follow any kind of patterning with this right now at this point in the build because all we're doing is getting it out there. We're about to work on patterning it here in a second. And this is what I love about dioramas. They are messy. Oh good Lord, are they messy. Look at that. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Getting it all over the place. Alright, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab a paintbrush. In this case, it don't need to be a good paintbrush. It can be the worst paintbrush in the world. The main point is I've got to find this line and clean this stuff up to this line. There goes my line right there. There goes my line right there. As you can see, it's leaving me some natural rock formations. It's putting it in natural places. Randomized places. So that's what you want. You want randomized placing. Trying to find that line. Gotta clean off that whole main slab first. And I'm just gonna keep pushing this stuff off. The reason why I'm doing this is because these are gonna be pathways. These are gonna be where it's obvious people have walked, things have gone. And as you can see also, in my spare time, I added some more rock to this, and I'm going to turn this just a little bit so you can see a little more what I'm doing. And look at that, I'm just going to sweep that off into the floor. That's the nice part about being in a shop. I have a concrete floor, I can just sweep my trash on the floor. If I need a little bit more, I'm going to keep this tinier stuff right here, and I'm going to move this big rock. In fact, I'm going to move most of this big rock, because I don't need big rock right now. What we're going for is the little stuff. We're just trying to fill in some of those gaps and make this look more natural. Look at that, clearing off that spot right there. Now why am I just dropping this stuff? Well, because the glue we just made is literally like a sealer. It's going to drop in there and take care of most of this stuff and glue it down without much worry. And I got a little piece of metal tube. But you know what? That little piece of metal tube can just drop in right there. And we're going to move this rock and that rock, and I'm going to call that good. This is where I get to have fun, because I get to start dropping this stuff right here. Make sure it's nice and shook up. This is our glue mixture we made earlier. This is just some Mod Podge in this case, but essentially just basic white glue. And I'm going to start dropping this stuff, and look at that. It's even moving some of this stuff, but all this is going to do is it's going to soak down, and it's going to glue this stuff down for me. Look at that. Just drop, 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 drop. You don't have to worry about how it looks right now, because it's going to dry to the shape of pretty much whatever it's hitting. And it's going to glue that stuff down real nice and nicely. So we'll have a nice little texture run there. As you can see, I'm just dropping it, dropping it. This is why I chose to use a dropper bottle, because over a spray bottle, I don't like spray bottles. And there's a good reason I don't like spray bottles. It's because it gets it everywhere. This gets it precisely where we want it, on just the bits we want it. Look at that. It's so simple, so easy. Look at that. Just, it keeps going and keeps going. Well, we're gonna have to come back here in a minute to start filming again, but guys, look how easy this is. I'm not struggling to glue this. I'm just dropping it. I'm gonna turn it some more. Well, we got some more crushed stuff here. You know what? I want a little more crushed stuff right here on this back side. So I'm just gonna push my crushed stuff up in there. Wedge it in there. Once again, come back with that dropper. I ain't worried about the excess dropping because it's gonna dry clear. Boom, 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 boom. Remember, this is just white school glue in a little dropper bottle. Look, coming close. Look at that, 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 look at that. If I'm not happy with how it's settling, I can just get it wet again. And look at all that going in there, helping glue down all that old. Making sure we have stuff sealed in there. Boom, 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 boom. Let's make sure that has a seal. Make sure that's sealed in there. Making sure that's sealed in there. Alright, the next thing I'm going to show you is the other way you can do this. Is I can just drop it where I want the stuff to lay. And we actually have something special for all this stuff I'm laying. So all this is going to soak down to whatever it wants to soak to. This is going to be like a Kyber crystal mine or whatever, so the crystal is very appropriate. Now I got to watch for my line here. Watching for my line, watching for my line. Watching for my line, watching for my line. And I've got a little thing full of crushed crystal here, so what we're going to do is we're just going to drop the crystal over this thing right here, over the top, and it's going to land wherever, placing it randomly. Look at that, just drop, 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 drop. All of it random. Oh, and I got a hair in there. We got to pick the hair out. No, hair, come back. You shall not pass, hair. And as I'm going to go, I'm just going to keep dumping this crystal all over this. As it dries, I can kind of maneuver it around. But all I want to do is dump it everywhere because I want that nice little crystally surface to be on everything that it'll stick to. Look at that, look at that, look at that. That's not hard at all. Like sprinkling sprinkles on a cake, guys. Here, if I want a little bit more, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna drop that in there. Drop, drop, drop. Another little drop there. Guys, look at that. Now all that mess right there has to dry. That's gonna take a minute. But I wanted you to see just how easy that was. That wasn't difficult. In fact, I gotta move that, and I've gotta move that because I think that's all up in the way. But that should be darned evidence right there that anybody can build anything, guys. In fact, I think I have just a little bit more to sprinkle there. Oh, that's right. I brought some talus. So I'm gonna fill this up. This is talus. This is basically rocks for railroad. Well, I'm gonna sprinkle some of this stuff out all over here, and I want this on the edges. So while I'm getting a little bit of drying going on, I'm just gonna take and sprinkle little bits of this talus in here. Just to fill up the edges. Give some randomosity in there. And fill it in right there. See how randomly this stuff is dropping, guys? You can't duplicate that by just placing this stuff. You can't. You truly can't. And with that, I'm just about done. I'm just about done here. I'm gonna place some talus really heavily right here. As you can see, it's not even going where the stand's gonna go. Wherever that's dropping, all I have to do is wait for it to dry and dump off the excess. That's it, guys. Let it dry, dump off the excess. It's a beautifully easy process, and you can't make it any simpler than this. I mean, truly, you can't. Dioramas are a beautiful thing. They're fun, and I love them for this exact reason I'm showing you right here. It's like making a cake, bros. Can you bake a cake? Can you get out there with your girl and bake a cake? Well, if you can't, you better learn, because if you can't bake a cake, you can't bake a diorama. What is that? Shake and bake? Shake and bake? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Randomosity. Natural randomosity, and I'm not even having to try, guys. Always remember, anyone can build anything. Zenkistyle out.